While many pros are making use of this single weekend away from competition to finally have a little bit of a breather, Dishsoap has been out there grinding and has taken back his rank 1 slot on the NA ladder, surpassing Asian Iverson and breaking that 1700 LP barrier. When checking out his match history, I noticed that his last game contained a very interesting game with a board that has not caught on to the meta just yet. Therefore, let's jump in game with him and see what allowed him to succeed with this board, and we are able to do so thanks to the Meta board review tool. We are playing in the Soraka and a Yasuo game, most likely going to be leaning in the direction of those Yasuo hexes if we're able to funnel more power into our units, as well as the utility through the stun is absolutely amazing on units that are able to spread with their ability. We are playing in an upgraded 1-cost encounter and have that Poppy, Quirky Riven, a comp that we can still consider, as long as we're able to secure that blade can secure quite good top 4 placements due to how stable it is on level 8. Our components are going to be Rod and Tier that allows us to, that makes us want to more lean into that AP direction, and for that we're obviously going to be holding onto this Leona, as the meta thing is if you're able to find a Leona print with a good cause, this Leona unit is going to be 4-star for you going into that stage 4, middle of stage 4, let's say. So our components are more leaning into this AP direction. Our slam would most likely be something like Adaptive Helm that we're not too excited, but we have a duplicator that we also might consider playing around, even though reroll is not as popular. Anima Commander. Anima still very strong in the meta right now. If you're able to cash out, but is going to want to play around something like the Zaya or the Quirky Riven itself. However, if we have a possibility, if we just quickly check our board, we have a possibility of spiking as well. We have these pairs here for the Vanguards, we have the Poppy too, we also have a Gwen, which is an amazing AP item holder. Perhaps we do not want to opt into Lustreak. 2 tanky is something that we could only really be playing into this Samira board. However, there has been a 2 tanky Vanguard, Mordekaiser, Zoe reroll board that has shown some potential. We do not exactly have these units to be playing around right away, even though we would have a decent transition. Booster pack, generic Econ Augment, got buffed by 2 gold, is more clickable nowadays, and Econ is going to be king on 2-1. Particularly in our spot, could print us some upgrades, could print us a potential tempo. Warlord's Honor, good Augment if you're able to get that stacking, particularly for some form of reroll boards. Legion of Threes more be playing into your MF reroll board, as there you're running so many 3 costs that even though you might not want the exact emblem you hit, you're going to get that Legion of Threes buffs all the way. But we're going to be going with the booster pack, Princess Leona too. Could hold on to this little Leona here as well as a possibility. Going to be putting that Gwen in, she's amazing at simply clearing the boards in the early game, getting those resets, especially when there's not other players playing around the strongest boards. We can utilize this PV round to quickly give a scout around. We see there's a apathetic Forge Leona as well, praying out already the early Shepherd. Woe and Magic also leading in some form of AP direction there. Darkstar, Stargazer could be some form of Zaya Darkstar board. Cluttered Mind, JRC, not exactly decided where we're going to be playing. Let's return to Dishsoap for now. Going against this Shepherd player, we're most likely going to be picking up a loss. The shops does not exactly satisfy me to be queuing into that many other units. Do not see a possibility of making a stronger board, so we're simply opting to going to hold on to this Rust for now. These Vanguard boards have a possibility of tying together so many traits that you definitely can be considering playing him already on something like a level 6. But we're giving up on him. We're opting to hold on to the Spike. What is our psionic item? It's Malware Matrix. That is still something that enables Master Yi even after the rework. Other than that, our components are not really going in there. We see there's a self-destruct Gragas player as well. So this guy is definitely going to be chasing that Gragas 3, and ideally now more and more players are going for Pike 3. I've found the game I played with Gragas Hero as well that Pike 3 can be an absolute monster and be a duo carry for later games. For our God selection, well, this is 6 health, this is Acceleration Hex. Not too much needed to explain. Acceleration Hex simply going to be a lot stronger option for you in pretty much every case imaginable. 6 health is simply too low value. Now, we have in Fame, he's also playing around Anima, so perhaps that was another reason why we were away from this Anima Commander option. We saw that there was a player playing Anima, and again, a lot of players leaning in towards that Fast 9 AP playstyle. And we are opting to already position in a wide open way. We're slamming this hex here, so this signals to me that we are locking in the comp direction right now. And the board that I'm going to be talking about, I'll quickly pull it up on the PvE round. It has started to see a little bit of play, but now that we're natural this Gwen 2, we definitely have a potential to go for a win streak. Just quickly also going to pause the WOD and show you the board that I was trying to allude to. We have it up here. This is a 2-cost reroll board that has started to see a little bit of play since we got the Gwen buffs. Now we have the self-destruct Gragas play in the lobby, so hitting this Pike and Gragas might be quite cumbersome for ourselves, but Milio 3 is an amazing AP carry to pair with. This board is absolutely insane if you're able to get too much value. You're printing 3 rerolls per turn on level 6. Very easy to be playing around, and you have possible carries, you have possibilities for tanks, and if you're able to then make it to level 8, you have the possibility of also chasing 3-star Riven with all these extra free rerolls you have, as long as there's not a Corki Riven player in the lobby. So something to watch out for if you do get offered the augment. Returning to our game, and we are most likely looking to finish on a win streak, so going to be playing around here. That is slotted in the rogue. This 3 space group buff, even though not that significant in its raw stats, simply going to make the strongest board for ourselves right now, rather than having this Pike and Meepsy in, wanting to close the stage on a win streak. This is how you are going to generally be able to play around these more unconventional boards, right? Having this early game tempo, especially utilizing the, if your matchmaking lucks out a little bit, queuing into those sackers on stage 4 that are sucking to go for fast 9, hoping that most of them are able to take out each other, and then you're going to secure yourself the top 4 placement through an HP lead built up. Now we're slotting in our real board as we're having a potential to make an econ interest as well, and I'm really interested what perhaps made him wanted to allude to this comp right away. Could have been the possibility that that we simply do not want to go enter this AP multi-away AP contest. We have the possibility to play an uncontested line. We seem to evaluate that we have a good spot for it, as we're able to tempo form here, and we made the call right away. Especially, I believe, once we 2-star this to Gwen naturally already on the stage, able to easily pick up a win here against that anima player. And we opted to make also the death cap for again right away, instead of going for something like a jeweled gauntlet. That's an interesting choice on his part, as I believe that simply Jeweled Gauntlet plus Hodge combo is the Gwen's best. Now, unfortunately, I cannot go back on the augments as the tool does sometimes bugs out, but we're sitting rolling for days. This is going to allow us to hit earlier. Pandora's could give us more items. I would believe that at this point, we are either looking for a strong item augment or a econ engine that's going to be able to help us hit. And the rerolling for days seems the better option. Lineup, we are positioning in this Moses Archway to open up a path for Pike to jump onto one of these corner carries. So that's going to go there. Pandora's is something that we may consider if we just wanted to get another component, but I believe we might be just going with rolling for days here. Let's see what the call of Dishsoap makes, and he seems to agree, going with the rolling for days right away. Going to be fishing for our potential 2-stars, seeing if we have anything that we can pick up along the way. Now find that Pike. We still are opting to see if there's any way how we could be playing the strongest board possible, since we are on a win streak. See a double Master Yi shop. Not, I see he's thinking about a possibility there, but that would make not allow us to make 40 gold here. We have not found a Gragas yet also. That is a little bit of a concerning bit. Opting to roll even deep here, you can see how much he values this. It's a possibility for tempo. Find that Gragas that allows us to transition to a stronger frontline with his Pantheon too. Also gives us the free item for our Gwen. It's going to be completely fine now that the item reworks right I already showed. Magic Champion is going to reduce magic resist by 2, and that is completely nice. That is quite nice for ourselves, as we do not have the utility sorted out, and in this comp we're going to need to do that somehow. And we are on a 1-time speed, so let's speed this back up. Easy win here that we are able to pick up against Jungle Book. So we are playing in a very high elo lobby all around. Now we already see the first 3-star Leona coming in from this player. What do they have? They have attack 3 times and gating per chance of the Arbiter. And remember, with 3 Arbiter, you're able to start printing these 2-stars. And Euro Lucason is here on this win streak against the Shepherd board. Maybe he's going to get taken out there with the 3-star Leona. But now we queue into self-destruct Gragas, so let's see how we fare against the mightiest 2-cost hero augment. The Gwen took a lot of time to get through him, but just barely managed to survive. we do not really have, we do not have Omnivamp, right? It's just making sure that Rogue doesn't give it. Cryogenic Hex, since we already have sacrificed the Hex, could be quite good. Blessing of Size, I do not think is something that we would be evaluating too much. Have the option to pick up a Gwen here if we wanted to. Let's see. I cannot see in this perspective what item he wanted to go for. But we opted to go with the Blessing of Size, perhaps evaluating that we do not have the tank items in our clear sight right away. Simply wanting to buff up our tank is going to work as like a half an item for him. And if we're going to be 3-starring this Pantheon, which is far more likely than against this Gragas player, we're going to go a good chance doing this last second swap, probably with Hover Scouting Hero Lucas here with the Pantheon, and that hopefully is going to allow us to stall long enough. And let's see how we fare. The Pike managed to take out the Lysandra, so now the Gwen is getting these resets and we're able to break his streak and continue the streak of our own. That is a massive swing turn for ourselves. Our recon is going to keep piling up with this win streak that we have right now. If we had a perspective, well, we could opt to dig even a little bit more if we wanted to, and also we're evaluating this drop of aggro here on this Gwen more than having the, for example, the Milio on the board. Having the 2 Rogue for her is absolutely crucial if he's going to be your main tank, just giving her the extra survivability needed. And we queue against a Corki player that has found that Corki has that Deathblade, but this Gwen is a unit, unfortunately our streak is broken. This is the point where Gwen generally starts to struggle a little bit. Once there's more units on the board, unless you're able to get her 3-star and have some kind of support for her to be able to get on those resets, is going to be quite tough. We are holding onto these spikes, so we're going to be quite delaying the possibility. We find that Riven here, so now we're able to slot in the 2 Timebreaker. Go for a roll down. Are we going to dig deep here? We find this Gwen 3 already. But definitely want to be securing at least a Pantheon 3 on this level as well. Slowing down this Gragas player, where we had Achi here playing the Gragas. Has not exactly managed to find his Bisque, haven't found that Rod yet, and he's sitting on 5 Gragases as well, so if we're able to delay him this way, it's going to be quite good for ourselves as well. A free placement to net. Have hit on pace at least our carry, so hopefully if you're able to find this, reloading immediately the golden egg, if you're able to find this Pantheon right away, is going to be quite strong. Are we going to really opt for Commerce Core? Even though Belt Overflow here is something that does not gain that much value, could be potential to sort ourselves with double Warmogs and simply have a lot of HP on our Pantheon, even though he's a brawler. Now, Bronze for Life is an interesting point as well. This comp loves Bronze Rust, and we have 6 traits, and that is the great breakpoint for Rust, where he comes extremely strong. And this could knit us quite a bit as well. Now, also we have a possibility of filling this replicator slot right here if we wanted another trait, so perhaps Bronze for Life is our best choice, but I believe that our recon situation is quite fine. We had that streak, unfortunately got broken going into PvE, but we still should be quite good in my opinion, rather than not to take Commerce Core. This is a Prismatic Eye Augment, right, and Giant Mighty is just simply not exactly the combat power we might be looking for. I believe this magic resists and armor are going to synergize quite well. We do not have that much damage jump since we're only running 2 Voyager. Therefore, I think Bronze for Life is the good pickup to be done here. Instead, he goes with Belt Overflow, evaluating that instead he wants to have these items sorted out. Allows us to make an even shroud as well, which is a nice spot, giving the Pike that armor reduction. I can see this being the right call, definitely. I mean, he's the master, so we're going to believe him. That is the right call, simply evaluating that if we're going to be having these 3-star units, right, getting items on them is the most key aspect, right? Whenever you're playing some kind of reroll comps, for example, Primordial, if you have 5 units that you're 3-star, but you only have an item set for 2 of them, the 3-stars are not bridging that gap that much, so we can see this comp is extremely item hungry as well, and therefore we did not have an item augment just yet, so he wanted to pick one up. Even though it's not the best one, it's quite good, and I guess assume that is the reason why he was debating for so long. Queuing into this, this is going to be a Leona 4 very soon on their side, but already without that we are going to be stuck on their tanks and cannot pick it right away. For ourselves, Storm Hex. Something like Emilio could actually in this comp spread it quite decently, but right now I do not think we exactly have the carry for it. So yeah, we're going to be going with this Rakas with Giant Belt, another belt that unfortunately we just have to pick up, but Are we going to be slamming the Sterex gauge? We find this Pantheon 3 now, using our duplicator and Pike 3 as well. So we are fine to be pushing levels here. We're not chasing that Milio, since we do not have extra AP items, I would assume. And holding on to this Nunu to grief the other players, but now that our comp is pretty much online, we're able to pin against Eurolocus here. And this is where we can see probably why he wanted to divert from this many-way AP contest. Slotting in the Riven as well, keeping this Riven since we found early Riven for the Rogue is quite neat, and we have the pair already. Other than that, from this point we will probably be opting to just simply push levels and then look for complete something like an IE on the Spike from our God offering, that being one of his better items. And otherwise we can utilize this belt for quite many things. We still have to short ourselves some kind of a shred. We'll have a possibility for, yeah, we also need anti-heal. So there's lots many things that this belt can become. Simply also improving the situation of items. He seems that this is going to be quite sufficient. Gives us a possibility, I assume, which one becomes Morello, yeah. When we have Edge of Night sorted out for Pike as well, that is going to be quite sufficient, and then we can just toss this Even Shroud here onto this Riven and keeping it. Well, I would assume that from this position Pike would be jumping more into this corner, but we'll have to see. Now this comp, as I alluded, has started to see a little bit of play, but we do not have that many games on it. The stats are a little shabby, so I'm going to make a cheat sheet on it once we have a little bit more data, once we have more games to be evaluated, so that I can give you the best info possible. But now going up is this Corki here, there's a crack in Corki, but we can see as long as this Riven is able, as long as this Gwen does not get stuck on the main tanks such as the Rammus here, she gets those resets, we're able to clear off the weaker sides of the front line, then the Pike is able to do his thing around the back line, and we are quite good in the spot. Seeing if the Gragas player has hit just yet, but it looks like they might have. No, he actually had to push levels, and he's in the dire spot. Had to play around this Yi here. A single star Tom Kench. Our grief did enough damage to them. We were the lucky ones to hit this game. And now against the Zaya, another prominent comp. Now we do get stuck onto this Nunu here, but the Pike just jump into the backline, is able to assassinate them. This is the reason why, and again, this comp can't succeed quite well, is this Pike unit. He's an absolute monster in the earlier stages of the game and the late stages of the game. As long as you're able to split up the backlines, you're still able to do so. But unfortunately, we do not have enough juice to finish off the tanks that were able to gang up on us. Going for an aggressive level and slotting in the replicator in form of a Lulu here. Since Pantheon is our main tank, that is quite fine, but I can see that we're getting a lot of Rast value, but I think that Bronze for Life could have been quite good here, but again, wanted to sort out the items. We had many 3 stars to chase, so more thought, and we are fine to see that the items were the right choice. Unfortunately, we do get lose to this Gragas now that the sea is able to take us out, and they have found Tom Kench too. So definitely a comp that seems to be good from these tempo spots, but is going to start falling off in the starting stage. Late stage 4, stage 5, and I don't think our itemization is that optimal. We had to play for tempo and we had to utilize our components of what we got. Able to slot into space group here with form of Anami, just going to give us a little bit more attack speed on the Gwen nonetheless. Again, the Pike does unfortunately this time get blocked, but yeah, so you're quite reliant on the Spike getting there, but now it finally makes it quite late. Still able to execute the carries, and as long as our team has been able to stall, we are able to pick up a win. Good for ourselves, and we're closing in on the top 4. Now Jungle Book hits the 2-star Zaya. We have another Zaya in the lobby here. The Corki doing quite decently as well, but we should be in a quite good spot to secure ourselves at top 4. Playing around here the Dono against around this LeBlanc with the Arbiter Print. Leona has managed to secure himself a top 4, Leona 4. Now our Pike was on the opposite side, unfortunately, so this LeBlanc is able to retarget ourselves. We do not have our tank in front of him. We're not positioned for this fight, so another takeaway of this comp would be that you definitely want to be scouting and positioning, swapping aggressively. Unfortunately, this is why Yasuo hexes are quite tricky. We are pretty much locked in with this Gwen in this kind of a spot. So probably not the ideal god, but then again we had Soraka. But we have secured ourselves a top 4, and hopefully we're able to find some form of an anti-magic resist onto this from this dragon. Ideally, obviously a Void Staff would be amazing for this Nami to hold. Going to be rolling for Nami to Riven to able to pick up and find that Void Staff, so most likely going to toss that on. Are we debating for possibility of mana gen as Nami working as another potential carry? I can definitely see this being another Alter Invasion version you can be playing for, and we're going to try to get this Pike to again jump by moving away even more as units, hoping this Leona comes back up, comes more down, and Pike does get there. The Positioning Master has done it. He has managed to get away from this Leona. Now we simply have to finish her off, but still at 4-star she's doing so much damage. Nonetheless, we're able to pick up a win, but are we going to be able to pull off this move once again? Now he's stuck in position here with the Cryo Hex as well, and pretty much the attack speed Hex for this LeBlanc. And has not... No, we have bait on the other side, so we have to see... we're trying to be going for the same play again, just hovering here, hoping that we're able to create a gap here for this Pike to walk up and able to get there. Now he does get stuck here, and another cast, and the Gwen managed to actually sneak onto the backline and able to pick up a win. So we are even though the hexes... How was that? Bad-mouthing the hexes, but now they are coming... Now they are... What enables us to pick up these wins now. The Sona 2 has come out. They have the 3-item Sona, still stuck on Bard 1, but that's going to spread the utility, get to the new 2, so they are fully sent here on the level 10. In terms of items, they have items. They only have a single Eco and Augment as well, and they have those Yasuo bonuses, so let's see how we fare. Again, throwing for the same play. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Again, taking up this Meepsy, they haven't even switched up this positioning. The Gwen hasn't get the wrap this time, and now they are overwhelming us. So perhaps we'll have to do some changes here. The last time the Gwen was able to take off the easy targets and then do the wrap. Are we able to secure a third item for us? I was going for that Anvil. Do not really have the mana gen, would like some mana gen for this Nami or something that could improve our... Find a Hodge here. So going to be going with a Hodge, yeah, transition the Adaptive Helm, that's going to serve as a mana gen. Now doing an interesting positioning here, moving this Pantheon here, so he drives the aggro and our weaker units do not get attacked, so we have this body value here. Gwen is able to clear off the weak side, the Pike is able to get to the backline, and we're able to easily pick up another win. Absolutely amazingly played. The positioning games are out, and Dishsoap is always on top, showing what the years of experience can do. He always says he's so observant of how the units are moving in these fights in order to gain these slight advantages in competitions, which has obviously led him to receive those 2 world championships. This is going to probably be the last fight. Are we going to be able to pull it off once more? Again, going with this position of Pantheon on that side and protecting now our Pike with another single unit. Immediately they opted to clump, so the Pike is able to get there and clean up the board, and the Gwen is able to get through the weak side. Now we just simply have to get through this Leona, even though she has that Radiant Bramble Vest. It's not going to be enough. We have the necessary damage and are able to pick up a win. Amazingly played game by Dishsoap. Identifying a spot to be going for a niche comp, knowing how much econ is going to be taking, and that we want to be streaking all around to covering the mid stages of the game, so we're not afraid to roll a little deeper to secure our strongest board, capitalize on that tempo, and then identify the right call that we need items for our units. Obviously, that even though it's not the strongest of an item, as long as you pick up the correct augment in the right category, you're going to succeed. And from there, with the masterful positioning, able to win against the final boss of this current meta in some form, in tanks, the Leona 4. I would like to thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something new. As usual, the cheat sheets on my comps that I've made so far are available in the link down below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.